What you are about to see is a video of what the Close-Up group experienced in Washington, D.C. We were sponsored for the trip by the Cultures of Giving Legacy Initiative. Close-Up is a program that brings kids from all over the country to learn about a new experience. And the reason these monuments were built and now politics work before we left for Washington, D.C. We interview each other.
Have you ever been to Washington, D.C. before?
Never.
Okay. Are you excited for this trip?
I am actually very excited.
Okay.
What is your current involvement in your school or community?
Well, at the end, I'm a dance major.
Where's the furthest away from home you ever traveled? What's your sports you like to play?
Basketball.
How excited are you for Close-Up?
Very excited.
I have never been to Washington, D.C. before, but I've always dreamt of it, and this trip actually helped make my dreams come true. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C. before?
No.
What's the furthest you've been away from home?
Florida. I think that's as far as I went.
Have you ever been to DC before?
No, I haven't. What do you feel is the biggest issue facing your generation?
Education.
An important part of the Close-Up trip to Washington was to visit the monuments. Monuments help to retain the nation's history and culture. The following monuments are shown as we visited them.
The first monument we visited was the Jefferson Memorial, and it showed Jefferson standing up and looking at the White House. The second monument we went to was the FDR Memorial, and it had his quotes from his lifetime and his presidency.
The next monument we went to was the Martin Luther King Memorial, and I thought it was very powerful. I thought it showed how much of an influence he was. Then we went to the White House, which was actually smaller than I expected. It was very cool though. Then we went to the World War II Memorial, which was, I felt it symbolized that the Americans wanted to remember this war as a great victory. And then the Vietnam Memorial, which was quite the opposite. I felt like it was trying to symbolize that we just wanted to remember the people who we lost, and we didn't want to celebrate it.
And then we went to the Lincoln Memorial. It honored the 16th President of the United States, and he's looking over the reflecting pool down to the Washington Monument.
The Washington Memorial was dedicated to our first President of the United States, George Washington.
Then after that, we went to the National Art Museum, and this is just showing the part of the Constitution spelled out by license plates from the 50 states.
Next is the Iwo Jima Memorial, which shows 4 United States Marines and 1 United States Navy sailor raising a flag after a victory of us conquering Iwo Jima. Next is Arlington National Cemetery, where it shows all the fallen soldiers who have fought in every war. And last is the dedication to the USS Maine, and the USS Maine was a ship that exploded and started the Spanish-American War.
Hello, my name is Sierra.
And I'm Ashley.
During the Washington trip, we experienced many historical memorials and monuments. We also were involved in political activities.
For example, on our first day to Washington, we visited the Smithsonian and the Holocaust Museum.
While visiting the Smithsonian's museum, we saw how the American life was in the early 1900s.
The Holocaust Museum gave us a better understanding and view of how Jews were treated during that period of time.
Throughout the week, we worked together in workshops to get a better understanding of the sites we were seeing.
In workshop, we met peers from all over the country, such as Virgin Islands, Maine, Rochester, New York, Texas, and etc.
Our flight to and from Washington, D.C. was a success and one to remember, thanks to Southwest.
Giving back means being able to absorb knowledge or absorb something that benefits or influences you, and being able to share that with others and influence them as well.
Seeing the Lincoln Memorial, FDR Memorial, the White House, the Pentagon, seeing that close up is a good opportunity to have.
Meaning it provided me with better social skills, awareness, and better understanding of the government.
Giving back means
taking what I learned and telling everybody about it and trying to enforce all the things that I learned here into my own community.
Gosh, it was unique. I loved it. I'm glad I saw my senator and my House of Representative of the state.
It made me think like differently about politics. You know, like before I was kind of like closed-minded about it. Like I don't really care. Well, I cared, but just to an extent. Like it didn't seem like it affected me. But now that I've met all these people in the Senate and the Congress, I realize that it actually does have an effect on me and my future and my kids' future, my grandkids' future. So I feel like now I'll take a bigger role inside my community as far as politics go and the government. And meeting people like you and everybody was cool too. So
it means appreciating what we've done and help spread the word of what we've experienced and what we've done.
Mhm.
Because I mean, we could have done this, nobody, and not told anybody, and nobody else would get anything from it.
yeah.
How do you feel about your participation in the program?
I feel like I had a good time and I learned a lot about the community.
What is one way you can bring what you learned on the close-up back to your community?
I can talk to family, friends, and everybody about how it impacted my life, and hopefully I can change their lives and change their views about the government.
Like when I was in Close Up, I learned I saw the highest form of professionalism. I like that, and the way they run things. I learned a lot about the government, and I like to bring that back to where I live.
How do you feel about your participation in the program?
I think this was a really cool program, and I learned a lot about politics from this. I didn't know hardly anything about politics. The most I did was, or most I knew about politics was, there's a president, he gets laws from Congress, and he has to choose who's passing for it. That's basically it. I know a lot more now.
What are your future plans and career goals?
In the future, I want to be a doctor or neonatal nurse or a pediatrician.
I plan on going to the Marine Corps after high school, and then possibly maybe get involved in politics.
The previous videos were interviews all of the Close-Up students made speaking about their time in Washington. They talked about the impact seeing and meeting the senators had on them.
We appreciated seeing all the monuments and memorials. It was a wonderful experience that we loved. We enjoyed the close-up view to the political parts of Washington, D.C.
We would like to thank Cultures of Giving Legacy Initiative. Also, we would like to thank Southwest Airlines for their hospitality. Lastly, we would like to thank Squeaky Wheels for helping us make these videos.